Rob and Slim Show.
Hey, it's Bobby Blaze.
Bobby Blaze. How are you, Bobby?
Season's fucking greetings. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Not the same, my friend. Are you ready for the fucking seasons?
Yeah, well, I would say Merry Christmas or Happy New Year and all that, but man, I tell you, when I was young, very young, my grandmother would send me a card or a picture, and it always said "Season's greetings," and I'd say to myself, "What the hell?" Because I wouldn't say "fuck" then, but I said, "What?" And I'd ask my mom, "What the hell is "Season's greetings"?" And I cursed at a young age, so excuse the language. But I say, "What is that, Mom?" What? And she goes, "What means the whole season? from Thanksgiving to Christmas to New Year." And I just didn't get it, and so I just was like, "Well, fuck that! I hate it! I hate season's fucking greetings.
Fuck the seasons.
Tell me Happy Thanksgiving. Tell me fucking Merry Christmas. Tell me Happy New Year, but don't fucking tell me season's greetings.
Don't lump it all into one. Yeah, it's like a cop-out. It's lazy. It's
Exactly.
lazy.
Right.
How you guys doing, man? How you guys doing?
Good.
As good as it gets, Bobby. We're rocking out. We're in our last season, and then you're definitely somebody we had to have back, because every time we had you on, it's always a great conversation, a great time.
Man, when I got your message, it was kind of twofold feelings. I was like, man, I know how much goes into a podcast. You guys have been on it for years and doing great, and it's always been an honor to be on it. So, part of me is like, oh, man, I enjoy their show, the Rob and Slim Show, and then part of me is like, I definitely was honored that I was asked. And also I want to send a shout-out to Jeremy over to the Geekish Cast. You guys had him on last week.
Yeah.
I listened to that on YouTube. Actually, I watched it earlier today on YouTube. I appreciate you guys just reaching out to us and letting us be a part of your podcast, man.
You guys are both great.
I wish you guys, as they say, good luck in your future endeavors, man.
Thanks, man. And I feel like we'll pop up here and there. It just won't be as regular as it is now.
Right. And when I heard you guys say you might do some movies and stuff and pop up, I popped for that. I was like, okay, That's cool, man.
We've done that in the past.
Some of those.
Here and there, where we'll just watch a movie and do a drinking game and just have fun. And it's not as much as, like, you don't have to put in as much, research and work into it. You just sit there and you have fun, and you just spat out a couple things. One of our, on YouTube, like, 2 of our movie shows are, like, some of our top videos, like, regularly. Like, people are still checking them out. So that's a cool thing.
Right on. That is cool. Very cool, man. And I can't wait. I'm obviously don't hate that you're ending it, but I'm also can't wait to see your next movie one, and listen to it. And that's cool, man.
Cool.
That's cool.
We've done it.
Give me your top movies, because I'm gonna probably give away my age here in just a second. When I can give you my top 3 real quick, but let me hear yours. What's some top movies that you like in your top 10? Just give me top 2 or 3.
Gotta be Back to the Future. If not the trilogy, one of them. One of them is definitely at the top. I'd say that. Let's see. Dazed and Confused. I know Slim hasn't seen.
Absolutely good one.
That's a really good one. And oh my gosh. A third.
I put those 2 up there. But I'm going a little bit different way. My favorite's a really weird one for you guys, probably, but it's 1976 Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro.
That's a great
one of Martin Scorsese's early movies.
Yes.
That's one of my top ones. And everyone that knows me thinks I would probably say Pulp Fiction is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
But it's actually my second favorite.
It's a really
only
good
because of the way the character Travis Bickle was in Taxi Driver. But now Godfather would be number 3, but I count them both as 1 and 2.
All right,
man, fuck yeah.
Those are really good movies.
And Dazed and Confused. I love Dazed and Confused, man. And my God, I popped huge when Back to the Future came out.
Yeah,
so, yeah, good choices. Man.
And I was before you said a Quentin movie, which Quentin, he's got some amazing movies. I was thinking, oh my God, did I lose it already? I don't know. I think I did.
I've had 2 people tell me straight up that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has just instantly become their favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. And I've watched it probably 15 times. And I love it. But I'm not going to put it up there yet.
But
it's awesome.
The last interview we had Laura Kioette. She was in Django Unchained, and she was in both Kill Bills. But she was in Django Unchained. She was DiCaprio's sister in the movie. Yep. So that's another. Like he's got so many great movies. Oh my god.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't even think.
Yeah, he changed a lot of way independent films were made. I think he just you go. Everyone says this or that, and when you go back to about Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, and then also if you look at, he actually wrote and wrote
Natural Born
Killers.
Yeah.
But man, one of my favorite movies I have that he wrote and he sold it was True Romance.
True Romance.
If you haven't seen that, yes. Go back and fucking watch that.
Yes. Kilmer was in that, right?
James Gandolfino. Young James Gandolfino, Brad Pitt's young. I mean, of course, everyone's fucking young in it because it's fucking 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, man, if you have not seen True Romance, people need to watch that.
That's another great one.
Christopher Walken, Christian Slater, Roseanne Arquette. I can just go on. The talent in that movie is huge.
So good. So good. What about you, Slim? What about top movies?
The only one that I can say is probably my favorite movie of all time is Seven Psychopaths. I fucking love that movie.
That's a good one. That's a really good one, Bobby.
That is my favorite movie of all time. And then I don't know if I have any other twos that like are close second. That's just the only one that ever pops in mind for me. I probably have some in there that I really enjoy, but
just mentioning Taxi Driver. Me and Slim saw Joker when it came out, and that gave me Taxi Driver vibes, like that Joker movie.
Yes, absolutely. And I read some things online, and I saw those references. When I held off on watching Joker. I waited till it came out on DVD, Blu-ray, etc. And I was like, I don't know if I can watch this because I was in a bad place, like mentally, like dark thinking. I don't know. And I wasn't in a bad place. I was like, God, man, I don't know if I watch it. And when I did, that vibe is definitely there, man. He's the underdog, you know. It's him against the city and him against the world.
I wasn't even in a bad place, but I felt after we saw the movie, I needed like an hour to just decompress and that movie. I said, I loved it, but I would never watch it again. It hits really, really crazy.
Yes, that's what happened to me. I was like, I was hanging out with this chick at the time. And my son, my nephew, a couple other people had seen it, and I was like, I've heard this review and that review, and I said, look, she was like, yeah, let's get it. So I got it, and we watched it, and I told her, I said, man, that was good, but I'll never watch that fucking again. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, I loved it, but I would never watch it again.
Decompressed.
Yes.
I can't. I see it pop up sometimes, like as a, on one of my feeds or whatever, and I'm like, nah, not tonight. I can't do it, man.
I thought about when it came out on DVD. I thought about grabbing it, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch that again. That was fucking crazy.
No. And I actually, drove by. I was hanging out at the time. I went out of town for a couple of days, and one of my sons again and my nephew, they're like, oh, there's this big theater. That's where we saw the Joker at, and they're telling me because I'm out of town, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm not watching it. Just forget about it. And like I said, I watched it, but after it went off, this chick and I, and she was a traveling nurse, and that's not bragging, boasting, anything. At the time, she was visiting me for, personal reasons, etc. And I was like, man, I like you, I just needed time to decompress after. I was like, I'll never watch it again. Whether she has or not, I don't know, because she's moved on,
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't watch that, man.
Yeah, I never felt compassion for him, but it still made you feel weird. Yeah. Like, that movie was weird.
Oh, the acting was great, man. I mean, that you can't, the writing, the acting, the everything about it, but I was just like, nah, no thanks, man. But I got that Taxi Driver vibe for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I still felt like, I don't know how, the entire cast and crew wasn't in, a year of therapy after that. That movie was
Good point. I would have been, if I had any part to do with that, even as an extra.
I felt even if I brought sandwiches, I feel like I felt after watching it like I needed a therapy session. That was
yes. That's excellent, man. That's funny as fuck. That's excellent.
God damn.
I wanted to say real quick, so recently my I had told my friends that I had never seen Step Brothers, and they were like, "You never seen Step Brothers?"
That's great.
So they made me watch Step Brothers, and they're like, "Oh, did you like it?" I was like, "Yeah, it was okay." Like, I'm just not crazy about comedy movies, but I bring this up because there is one comedy movie that I really like, and it's funny because it's Ready to Rumble.
That was the third movie I thought of, and then I lost. I was thinking Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder is up there too.
That's one of my top comedies.
It would be like Ready to Rumble because I just have fond memories of watching that movie over and over again as a kid, and that's at the height of the WCW and stuff when I was into all that. I loved Ready to Rumble.
I talked to a friend of mine that's in the wrestling business, and he was like, "Man, that's my favorite movie, is Ready to Rumble. Don't argue with me." And I was like, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just like, I was there at the time when it was making that. I wish I could have been a part of it. But, I wasn't offered, even as an extra. That's good and all that. But, I can't believe you haven't seen Step Brothers. But Ready to Rumble, that's it's up there. And I don't know, man. If you're a wrestling fan, some people just really, really hate it, and others really, really love it.
I've never seen that one.
I think there's in between on that.
Oh, you never saw Ready
I've never seen that.
You never saw Ready to Rumble?
Which one is that? That's not...
Ready to Rumble is like the two guys that go on a road trip because their favorite wrestler, the King. I don't think he's a
Jerry
real
the
wrestler.
King Lawler.
Yeah, was
he's
he
real?
Was it Jerry the King? Yeah.
You didn't think he was real? Bobby wrestled Jerry the King. Bobby got the belt from Jerry the King.
That's who it was in the movie, right? Was it Jerry the King Lawler, or was it just another guy that?
It was another guy on there. Actually, the King was a different character on there. It wasn't Jerry the King Lawler.
Okay.
It was the comedy guy. He was Hey Baby. He was the Hey Baby hip toss. He just had a little. His whole deal was like I think he was always in a drunken stumper in that movie, or stupor rather, and he'd just go to the matches. He'd go, "Hey Baby hip toss," kind of deal. He definitely wasn't Jerry King Lawler.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I don't know. It was like a wrestler they made up.
Him. Yeah,
but
the wrestler they made up.
Yeah, so was it these two guys?
I worked with Jerry King Lawler this past summer, actually.
Really?
It was really cool to catch up with him again. Yeah, just a show over in Beckley, West Virginia. It was a really big show, actually, with ASW, and I got asked to be as a manager, and it was Jerry Lawler against Shane Storm. And then Dennis Condrey was in one corner, and then I was in the other, and it was just kind of a good in-house angle. And it was good just to reunite with some of those people, But, that movie, I'm pretty sure the guy that played the King was just the guy that walked around saying, "Okay, we're going to do this in the match." And he'd go, "All right, hip toss, baby."
I want to see it now. I got to see that.
We should do it for a movie, Sean.
Yeah,
I think you would really like
right.
it. It was a cool movie. It's like a road trip movie. It was the guys. He was like retiring or something. Like he lost a match and he was retiring, and these two guys that were like obsessed with him were like, "We got to go find him and get him back in the game and get him to go back for wrestling."
Cool.
And it's like. Takes place in WCW, like all the WCW wrestlers were in it and stuff.
Bobby said he was around at the time. That's wow.
Yeah, that's why. But also, it's one of those things. Here's why I look at that and some of those, like we mentioned, Tarantino movies. Unlike the Joker, let's kayfabe that one. Some of those are just like hangout movies. You get to hang out with your buddies. So when you go on set with, say, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the characters, you're getting to hang out with Leo and Brad, as their characters. You go hang out with them for a whole day. Same thing with Pulp Fiction. You're getting to hang out with, Jules and John Travolta. It's hangout films, and that's the kind of way the Ready to Rumble is. You get to hang out with a couple guys that are going to go see, their favorite wrestler. There's hangout movies, and that's the way I look at those.
Yeah.
It's like Taxi Driver to me is like, I get to hang out with Travis Bickle, Robert De Niro, who's my all-time favorite actor, although he's fastly fading over time, of course. But, you get to hang out with them in a cab, and you get to go through this experience. And so those are hangout movies, and I think that's what and I'm no film expert. I just love movies. But I think that's what happens in Ready to Rumble. What do you think? Is that just you get to hang out with some people in that movie?
I absolutely think that's what it is. I will agree 100% that whole movie is kind of just hanging out with those guys. Those two guys trying to go see their wrestler.
Bobby, I want to ask real quick. I know it's always great. I love talking to you and letting the conversation go wherever. But Bobby, you have a Christmas book, right?
Yes, I do. It's called Seasons, Death, and Greetings. My favorite Christmas ever. and it still stands strong today. Throughout my life, this is just one of my favorite Christmases, and I wrote a short story about it.
Could you read us an excerpt from it?
Yeah, I'll just read it. So this took place back in 1983, way before you guys were around, I'm sure. But so we've been basically promised, asked to, or trip to go to I was home from college at the time. I was about 20 years old. And basically, so the setup is my brother and I got asked to go to Baltimore with one of my aunts and my cousin to pick out Christmas gifts for everyone else because my grandmother had retired from Johns Hopkins Hospital as a nurse. Excuse me. So that's the setup. And we start off the day that we're going to go from Ashland, Kentucky to Baltimore, Maryland, which is about a 6.5-hour drive. And nowadays, back then it was probably about 7, to be quite honest with you. But we're in a 1974 green Pinto, so think about that. That's a fucking death trap right there. So we're supposed to meet at 11 o'clock a.m. at the I-64 interchange with Route 23, which is 23 is the country music highway that runs throughout Kentucky. And anyway, the Judds, Billy Ray Cyrus, there's people at these highways got sections named after Loretta Lynn, etc. All these country music. Anyway, long story short, let's cut to the book here. So my 11 o'clock we're supposed to meet. We don't meet till 8 o'clock that evening. There's no cell phones there. There's nothing like that. My mom takes my brother, myself. He's in high school. My cousin's still in high school. I'm in college, like I said, first year. And we're like, okay, we go up there. No one shows up. We wait for like a fucking hour from 11 till noon. Finally, at 8 o'clock, we go back home. Finally, about 7 o'clock, we get a call. We're on our way. We'll meet you at that exchange. And like I said, that's located on the borders of Kentucky and West Virginia. So we hit 64. We've been in West Virginia for most of the trip. So I'm just going to pick it up from there. How's that? Okay.
Sounds good.
So my aunt has basically driven an hour from Paintsville, Kentucky to Ashland, Kentucky. We're to exchange that, and now we're getting ready to go on the trip. You would think this would be, here's the excerpt. So you'd think that'd be simple enough. Not so. So once packed, and I mean packed into the sardine can, I mean car, my aunt starts driving. Now, granted, we're supposed to leave at 11. It's now 8. She's driven 1 hour to pick us up. I can understand how exhausted she probably is. Sarcasm intended. I can see where this is headed pretty quickly, as the first rest area or welcome center in West Virginia is about 2 miles down the road. Oh, I'm so tired. I think I need to get back there and lay down for a bit, Robbie. Do you think you can drive for a while? I take a nap. Being the oldest at 20 and one of the only drivers with the license, I knew it was coming. I've been around this aunt before, just so you know. I really have to pee, so I'll just pull into this rest area. It hadn't even been a couple miles into this 400-mile trip, and she's pulling over. If we hadn't been squashed in so tight and laughing so hard, we'd have fallen out of the car when she stopped. So here we are, all laughing our asses off, all waiting for her to go pee, get a snack, and get back into the car once again. Hey, Robbie, you drive for a little bit. She crawls in the back seat, stretches out the best she can, and she wasn't a small woman, to say the least. So she ends up lying across the entire back seat. Well, there's a driver's seat. I'm pretty sure I've got that covered, but that still only leaves the other front seat. With her and my brother Jimmy, Mac gets out of the back. Him and Chucky squeeze into the other front seat. But I think she's ready to lay down. She gets out. Get in, boys. We got some driving to do. That's what I say. We got some fucking driving. So here I am, 20 years old, hardly no experience on the main highway, basically. And that's kind of the gist of it. And there's a light dusting of snow that comes, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, nowadays I can drive to Baltimore with my eyes closed. Not that I would suggest that to anyone.
Yeah.
And do it in 6.5 hours. But back then it was a different story.
Yeah.
Several missed turns and still no word from the back seat. I realized 2 things. The gas indicator was on E, and it didn't stand for enough. And 2, we're lost somewhere in Virginia. It had been miles since I had passed any Maryland signs. Anyway, blah, 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 fast forward. That's where it's at. I pull into a station up there. This is back way before 24-hour gas station, just so you know. And so it just gets into where she wakes up and she goes, I'm driving. She wakes me up when I get to Maryland. We're in the middle of nowhere in snow, driving under the speed limit by now. I'm sure you had enough time to hibernate back there, Snow White. But anyway, I said to myself, and that's just the gist of it. It takes us 12 fucking hours to get there. Once we get there, we got to stay at these my grandmother's sister's place. And it's fucking, I don't know, it just goes on. It's like the goddamn Addams Family. And basically from there, my other grandmother who lives there, she sends us a ride over from one of my uncles like 2 days into the trip. We're like, fuck, we got to get out of there. So she picks us up, or my uncle picks us up, takes me to see my other grandmother, and we go to another uncle party. Now, you know me. This I'm 20 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm telling my 2 teenage brother and cousin, whatever you do, don't get drunk. Don't get drunk. Because we're going to this other uncle's party, Christmas party, that's a couple days after Christmas, so it's kind of Christmas, New Year's. And, man, I swear to you, I think this is the only time in my life this has happened, and I swear to it to this day. Yes, I had a couple drinks, but I think someone fucking making me, or the brownies were loaded, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, man, I got fucked up more than a can of fishing worms. And all night, my brother and uncle kept saying, and they had a couple drinks, and they was, like I said, 18, and probably 14. And I kept saying, whatever you do, don't get drunk, don't get drunk. And, man, I got so fucked up, man. I'm just saying. It was like, God damn.
This sounds like it needs to be a movie. This needs to be a movie.
So I had to see some of my female cousins who was only cousins by marriage, and you're sitting there thinking, well, they're not really our cousins over there. And, you're partying, you're 20 years old, and the oldest cousin was like 21, but the other ones, I'll just say, okay, they're close enough. But you're like, it was a fuck. Anyway, we ended up going downtown in Baltimore, where I was at just a few weeks ago. I had to go for another situation, but that fucking Inner Harbor down there, where, we're like, oh, man, down there shopping. The whole idea was, guys, we were supposed to go pick out Christmas presents the day after Christmas on the 26th when shit would be on sale, and my grandmother had given us giving us her credit cards. That was the whole deal. And we were supposed to buy stuff for the other 3 cousins on that grandmother's side. Me and my brother and my cousin, male cousin, supposed to buy fucking our gifts plus gifts for 2 females, another male cousin. And we're like, well, fuck them. They ain't here. Get them some socks. What are you going to get them? And we ran those fucking credit cards.
That's what I was going to say.
It was just a whole trip, man.
I'd be getting everything.
It's my best trip, though.
Yeah, that sounds like an amazing trip.
And then on the way home, the aunt that we stayed with, she loaded us up on a bunch of fucking food, turkey, ham, pies, all that. We're in this fucking Pinto. My brother's in the front seat, okay? My cousin and I was in the back. The Pintos, which are, were not the best design for cars. The back windows were those little triangles you pushed out. The window didn't roll down, this and that. And my brother started eating. By the time we left Baltimore, he started fucking eating. My cousin and I was in the back, and hey, get a drink of water. So anyway, he starts drinking his chocolate milk somewhere into the trip. We're like, so we had to stop and get gas somewhere in Virginia, and we're like, man, don't do that, don't do that. He's been eating pies and fucking ham and turkey the whole fucking travel. Like, slow down, man. My cousin and I was in the back laughing like motherfuckers the whole trip like lunatics. Anyway, my brother says, we're right outside of Charleston, West Virginia. He says, and her name was Brenda. He goes, Aunt Brendy, you got to turn that heat down and turn off that country music. But at the time, none of us listened to country. And we're like, it is that old, the twang country, So he's like, he says like 3 times, and she's got the fucking heat blasting in this little Pinto. And she's taking up the fucking 3/4 of the goddamn car anyway. And he's up there been eating and then starts drinking that chocolate milk that's been fucking warm by now. And all of a sudden, he says, Aunt Brandy, for like the 4th time, please turn down the heat and turn off that country music. And no sooner he says that, Jawa, he just lets it go. He fucking pukes into the fucking dashboard, into the fucking vents. And I start going, Jawa King, Jawa Earl, you're hurling. Well, by that time, my cousin and I, we can't stop laughing. So, but it's like, when I started saying that smell hits those vents, Again, I'm in the back seat. I'm trying to open the fucking little window that opens just about 3/4 of an inch. When I hear someone puke or smell it, goddamn it, I'm letting it go.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like almost.
And then I
Just hearing
start fucking, me and my cousin puking up the back 2 windows that don't go. They're not roll downs. They're little, And anyway, so the whole deal is we're like 70 miles from home, and my brother fucking pukes into the dashboard, into the heater vent. It's just a goddamn catastrophe of a trip. But it's season's fucking greetings. My best Christmas ever. There you go.
Oh, thank you, Bobby. That was amazing. And Bobby, we have to wrap it up. I can't believe it, man. It goes so fast.
I wish you guys the best of luck.
You too, my friend.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to have been a part of the last few years with you guys. And I really look forward to your movies that you can come out with some segments here and there. And I do wish you, seriously, season's fucking greetings.
Season's fucking greetings, Bobby. To have the best rest of the year possible.
Yes, sir. You guys too, both of you. I appreciate you.
And on Twitter, what is your at, Bobby? It's at Bobby Blaze?
I'm at Bobby Blaze 744. That's my only social media. I'm on Twitter at Bobby Blaze 744. Of course, you can follow me also with the at Bell to Bell Blaze podcast. Jeremy runs that at the Geekiest Cast. He runs that. Just find me at Bobby Blaze 744. That's where I'm most active at. I love all the interaction on Twitter, and I appreciate it very much. And sincerely, guys, thank you both. Robinson, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bobby. Have a good one.
You too.